Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ and I'm here in Melbourne CBD, and today's lesson on the Entrepreneurial Mind is about a secret weapon to use to enhance your customer experience, and it's one of the best things that you can do. So listen to the stories. The other day, I go to visit some friends at an educational institution. They work there, they're amazing educators, and I love working with these guys. And they invited me to a private function. One of their team was leaving, and so I was very blessed to be invited to this function. Except it was like 50 odd degrees outside, hot as hell, and we're getting bushfire smoke as well here in Victoria. And so it was quite apocalyptic this particular day, and it was hotter than hell. Ridiculous, right? So anyway, I rocket up to this institution, and thank God everywhere's air conditioned. Except when we entered the function room, we discovered that the air conditioning stopped at the door. There was no air conditioning inside, and it was hot as an oven, and I started freaking out. And I started going up to my friend saying, hey, listen, is the aircon on? Is it turned onable? Like, what's going on? And he looks at me and he goes, suck it up, princess. which so if you know him, he's a lovely guy, but damn man, it was crazy. So anyway, so I'm trying to work out like what to do about this, and you know, it was just everyone walked into the room, no one sort of started complaining, no one did anything about it. Like I had to look at switches, I had to look at other stuff, and I couldn't find out what was going on. Anyway, so the function continued, and as we're about to get started, someone from maintenance or facilities rocked on up, and they're the people in charge of the aircon, you know, the logistics of these rooms, right? And so someone at the door asked them, listen, what's the story with the air conditioning in this room? And he goes, yeah, it actually stops at the door, you know, and he was proud of this, right? And he goes, yeah, so actually there's a valve in the roof, right? And sometimes it gets stuck, and so the aircon just stays out there and all the heat's in here, you know, and people were like, well, why are we holding it here? And he says, without batting an eyelid, he goes, yeah, I wondered that. I wondered why you would choose this room, but oh well. And then he walks off. And I was like, damn, this is insane. Like, here's a person whose sole job it is to look after logistics like this, right? Air conditioning, room heat, room temperature, that sort of stuff, right? He's in maintenance, he's in facilities, it's his sole job. But he doesn't care. He would rather let us burn in hell, right, than actually do something about that. And for those of you who know a little bit about this series, you'll know that I'm fascinated with the little details, because the little details indicate what's going on at the top and all throughout the organization. And given my history with this organization, I know there are a lot of issues with this organization, right? But this is a story that I'm going to share on stage. The dysfunction, the level of dysfunction as to something so small, and more about the culture, how this person did not care, and the environment around them supports that. Think about what that does to an organization. Think about what that does to people in that organization. But most of all, think about how that impacts your customers, in this case, the students, right? I mean, like, how do you even process that? You know, the purpose of business is to create and keep a customer. And here you are not even caring about your customers, you know? And it's not just this institution. I see that everywhere. I'm fascinated by this stuff, right? Little things imply big things, you know? And they just didn't care. So for those of you who want to create an amazing customer experience but don't have quite too many resources to do so, the one thing that you can do is teach your people to care, or demonstrate that they care, or put people who genuinely care at the front lines of your organization to deal with these customers. That's huge. So big, right? And off the back of that, I want to share with you my experience about what I've been up to this year, which involved sampling a lot of customer experience from organizations around Australia and some overseas as well. So since I translated from small business into speaking to corporates, I've had to relearn how I develop business, because before I had a great reputation in small business. I had credibility and I had connections, and business came to me, so I'd get booked for speaking through word of mouth. But this year I've really focused on learning how to build a speaking business from scratch, and that involves doing business development techniques like cold outreaching and things like that. And let's say I contacted 100 people. probably about 2, if I was lucky, would get back to me and give me information and let me know some feedback or whatever. The rest just didn't care, all right? And of course, you know, I understand everyone's busy and people ain't got time for this shit, right? But think about what that says to you what that says to people outside your organization, because you are representing your organization and people get experiences of how you interact with them, right? So what does that exactly tell the world about who you are as a company, you know? And look, in all fairness, right, I don't spam people, I don't put out generic messages or whatever. I'm not into bulk emailing to people. Every message is researched, direct contact, personable, and asking a couple of questions. Some of them aren't even more than 3 lines long, you know? And to ignore someone like that, I get that you're busy, but it demonstrates something so much more. So my wish for you for next year is that you practice kindness. And I get if you're really busy, doesn't mean you have to respond to every email. Maybe just pick 1 or 2 at the end of the week before you go out that door to your family, or when you're having some, you know, just 5 minutes. Pick 1 or 2 emails and respond to them like a genuine human being. If they're writing to you and it obviously seems like spam, then just ignore those or spam them or whatever, right? But if someone genuinely contacts you as a fellow human being, please show them the courtesy and show them a bit of kindness and respond to their email. Even if it's a no, just tell them no, these are the reasons why, and wish them well. And it just demonstrates that you care. Now, why is caring such a big deal? Well, other than obviously business customer experience and all that. Final story for today is what's happening in Australia at the moment. So it's December 23rd today. We've got three states, or possibly 4 states burning. There's bushfires in the country, and it's a pretty big deal. And you know, we've only got a volunteer fire force at the moment fighting these fires, and the resources are stretched to the max, and it's pretty chaotic, and a lot of people are really upset. And what does our Prime Minister do? He goes on holiday, chooses this exact moment to go on holiday. And the act of him going on holiday during this crisis has really split the nation. And a majority of Australians, or many Australians rather, cannot believe the sheer stupidity of this act. We're crying out for leadership, and he goes away on holiday to Hawaii with his family on vacation while people are losing their homes and a couple of firefighters have died. Like, how do you process that from your leader, from the people that you put in power? How do you think like that? And the other school of thought is, well, why shouldn't he go on holiday? Because he's got people in place. He's not a firefighter himself. He doesn't know how to use a hose. There's policies and procedures in place and people fighting these fires, and everything's fine. Why can't he go on holiday? And so it's really interesting to see. But what it comes down to is that people want to see that you care. They want to know that you actually care. And if you look at all his communication, everything he said, right? Yeah, he says the words, but the way he says it just implies that he just doesn't care, you know? And that is why kindness, compassion, understanding, patience, and just wanting to actually help someone goes such a long way in today's disposable society. And my one wish for all of you is that you practice more kindness in 2020. You never know where it's going to result in or what impact you're going to have on someone. But if you don't do it, you pretty much risk upsetting someone or making them feel bad or making them doubt themselves, and then that leads to further problems, you know. But if you just take the time and energy just to respond to someone or show someone that you care, goes such a long way. So there you go, entrepreneurs, that's me done. Hope you've really enjoyed the Entrepreneurial Mind series, and hope it's elevated your thinking, or maybe just made you remember something that you haven't thought about for a while. All the old videos are on YouTube, so check them out, and I will see you better and brighter than ever in 2020. Whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. Take care, peace out, have an awesome and safe holiday. Hey, it's AJ, and if you like that video, give it a big thumbs up so that it'll help me reach more amazing people like yourself. And check out the other videos on my channel, as there's probably something there that'll help you elevate your thinking. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe.